Welcome back to Our Future Priests, an ongoing series of interviews with the seminarians of Most Holy Trinity Seminary, a traditional Roman Catholic house of studies located in Brooksville, Florida. Today we are joined by Anthony Brueggemann, a first-year theology student. Well, that's a name with a long history in the traditional movement among traditional Catholics, Brueggemann. So we'll start out by having you tell us a little bit about where you're from, what state you're from, your home parish, everything of that nature.
Very well. So I'm from Kentucky, northern Kentucky, near Walton. I was born and raised in a Catholic home. I'm the fourth oldest of 13. I've been going to St. Gertrude's my whole life.
That's fine. Yes. Okay. So that's so you grew up your entire life a traditional Catholic.
Yes.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Not all of us have that privilege.
Very, very blessed.
Yes, indeed. That's a tiny percentage of human population that can say that they have that kind of upbringing. So, are there any significant details you have about how you decided to come to the seminary? Some people, it's a very interesting, very long story. Some people, it's not so much. Is there anything interesting about your particular the events that led to your coming to the seminary?
Well, there wasn't anything extraordinary, I would say. Just sort of my mid to late teens, I had started realizing this desire to really to serve God better, and I think being part of what really nourished that was my opportunity to serve so often at St. Gertrude's and being exposed to the priests there, just being around them as often as I was. I think that really nourished my vocation, and so in my late teens I really started thinking seriously about it. And funny enough, I finally I decided within myself that I would try the seminary because that seemed like the way that God wanted me to take. And what happened was Father Shikata talked me into going to a young adults get together, and which I didn't. I didn't want to go, but because he didn't know yet, but I didn't tell him. I just went anyways, and I actually had an opportunity of speaking to a formal seminarian, which was great because
a former seminarian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, and so he gave me some good advice, and he really encouraged me, and basically just told me I need to go see a priest and tell Father, and I was okay. And a couple of days later, happened to be in conversation with Father Shikata, and I told him, and that he got the wheels spinning right away, and here I am.
Oh, excellent. So now you finally arrived at the seminary. Let's see, you arrived. Which year did you arrive here?
2017.
All right, very good. And so this is your first year of theology. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's a very busy academic year. We have a lot of different courses. Do you have any class that you prefer over others? I know it's difficult to make a decision of one or even two or three when you have so many, but I imagine French has got to be up there somewhere.
Oh yeah, French is the top.
It's always fun.
Yeah, I would say I think our course on the grace of God.
De Grazia.
De Grazia. It's very. I find that the most interesting.
It's very interesting and a bit easier than some of the others.
It is, and it's very. There's a lot of practical application there, just for meditation.
Yes, that's true.
Basically, I'm here because God gave me the gift to be in the seminary as a gift from God. And it's nothing to do with what I had. Nothing. I never did anything to deserve this or anything I have. So
it's an excellent motive for humility.
Very
meditating
and
on all of those.
And that's what we all need the most.
Yeah, definitely. No question to that. No question to that. So, do you have any other classes that you like especially?
Well,
if you want to say if that's still the only ones you like, that's okay. But And if you have any others, let us know.
I'll just say all of them are pretty good. I don't want to.
You can't go wrong choosing.
Can't go wrong. I don't want to. If my teachers are watching, they might be.
Nobody's going to be offended.
I don't really have a strong likes or dislikes really. I think they're all very, very good classes.
Well, next year, church history will be your favorite.
Oh yeah, so definitely if you're teaching it.
All right. Other duties you have in the seminary. Obviously, sacristan. That's a tremendous job. It's actually quite an honor to be the sacristan. But what are some of the major things you have to do, either from day to day or exceptionally, that you have to do as a sacristan?
Well, I have to make sure that the vestments and the altars are prepared for Mass in the morning.
And that starts at what time? What time does sacristy work start in the morning?
Well, it should start about 5:40. If not, he's late.
Okay. But your assistant you're talking about?
Oh, myself.
Oh, yourself? Oh, okay.
But no, it usually starts about 5:40. It takes about 15 minutes. And then just during the week, that's every day. And then other than that, it's just making sure all the linens and everything is kept in order and is ready for the celebration of Mass. Or for us today, we had benediction, so it's a lot of little things that you just have to constantly be.
Sacristan's work is never done.
That's what I was told. So.
Yes, that holds true. Even my own experience helping in the sacristy, that holds true, certainly.
Yes, but it's definitely it's a pleasure to be, because I'm able more than most of his other seminarians to be near this. Near sanctuary or even in the sanctuary working.
Yes, so. Doing that sort of work, you definitely gain skills and knowledge that you certainly
very
apply
useful, very useful for the future.
Yes, absolutely, no question. Now, what about the bigger occasions, like just on Sunday, for example? We have a solemn high mass every Sunday, right? And usually a bishop's pontifical low mass every Sunday.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a curveball. But
a lot of work every Sunday.
Mm-hmm, but I have really good assistants, so it's usually very manageable.
That's good. We sort of have it down to a routine, by
yeah, most everything's a routine now. When you have a pontifical mass, for example,
solemn pontifical.
Solemn pontifical. That usually puts a wrench in the whole system. So it takes me a long time to get that ready, and I need to get lists together so I can try to make sure I have everything.
What are some of the things you have to do for a pontifical mass that you wouldn't normally have to do for, say, solemn high mass, which we have every Sunday? What are some of the things that may take longer, a bit more difficult, just add to the general workload?
Well, I have to get out some of the chests from the closet, which is always a lot of fun.
The safes,
yeah.
A lot of
and
things
then all the safes, almost every safe I have to open, there's something coming out, and just so many little things like miters.
Yes, one thing gets forgotten at pontifical mass, and it's sudden death.
It's a disaster. So it's sort of once I get the habit down, it won't be. So yeah, that's kind of I was never, before I came here, I wasn't a sacristan, so I was never actually used to setting up for any ceremony. So just basically trying to learn how to do it is the hard part. Doing it itself is not.
Like anything else, it's habit.
It needs to become a habit. That's all. Yeah.
Yes.
Still working on it.
You'll get it.
I'm still working on
certainly.
it.
And then every Sunday we also have, in addition to the solemn mass, also solemn vespers.
Oh yeah, that's very. It's not hard to set up for. It's a very nice. It's a beautiful ceremony. It's a beautiful ceremony.
It's something that I know every seminarian will miss after leaving, finishing and being ordained, leaving the seminary. Will definitely miss
it, yes.
solemn vespers every Sunday.
But it's not a very. It takes about a half hour to set up, I would say, and.
That involves benediction also every Sunday.
Yeah.
So. Sundays are busy.
It's
anyone
nice.
Considering the seminary know that Sundays are busy, very busy days. But it's all for the glory of God. So it's you couldn't spend your Sunday doing anything better. There's no question of that. So obviously a lot of things to do in the sacristy. Do you have any other duties like preparing the coffee for the seminary? That's
okay.
That's probably number 2 on your list of things to do every day. After the sacristy work, get the coffee ready.
Yeah, usually I try to do it before the sacristy. It's so important.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just get it out of the way.
but yeah, that's I just got to make sure I make it strong enough where I get.
Oh yes. Otherwise, people fall asleep during class. No,
And
seminarians never fall
I'll
asleep.
be
during
responsible. Yeah.
class. Seminarians never fall
So-
asleep during class. I'm sure.
But I have that, and then actually this year, I've become the barber of the
Oh
seminary.
yes, that's right. I
for,
forgot.
for the
about
other
that.
seminarians. So that's been.
Thank you for volunteering for that, and it saves everybody else a lot of time and trouble.
Mm-hmm. It's my pleasure, and I have some others I'm training, so this should.
That's good. We need succession.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we always have somebody who can cut hair.
It's very important.
Yes, certainly.
Tidy seminarians.
Yes, we make sure everybody stays well groomed. Right? Okay, so we can move on to other things now. So, once you are ordained, what year do you think you'll be ordained? Do you know what year, or do you have some idea of when you'll be ordained?
Well, this is my first year of theology, and I expect to take 4 full years
Of theology.
of theology, and so I suppose at the end of that last year I would be ordained finally.
So that would be 3 years from this year. So
Mm-hmm.
2023, you expect to be ordained.
Yes,
All right. Well, we'll pray for you in the meantime.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, certainly. So the next, when do you receive minor orders? Yeah, first, you've been tonsured, correct?
That's correct.
Have you received any minor orders yet?
Yes, the first 2, porter and lector, and I expect we will receive acolyte, exorcist, and acolyte
At the end of June.
Mhm.
That's when it's on.
at the end of June. So
So then you'll have, after that you'll have received the order of acolyte, and the next thing after that is subdiaconate.
subdiaconate. That's right.
So we have to make sure that we have all the proper spaces in between, proper spaces of time in between receiving the various orders. So it'll be a little while before you get to subdiaconate, but it is the next step.
Yeah, I'm not worrying too much about it right now, but I have.
You've
thought
got
about
time.
it. I will. I'll be ready.
Plenty of time to learn how to recite the divine office every day,
Yes.
the breviary. But once you are ordained, where do you think you'll work? Obviously, probably your home parish, correct?
Yes. Under Bishop Dolan, and I mean it's hard to say because things change so quickly, but it looks like I'll be stationed. I'll reside at St. Gertrude's, and most likely assist there when I'm not on missions, because they have a lot of missions.
How many missions are there? That
I don't
are
know
service at
exactly. I
St.
just know they have some in Texas,
That's quite a ways from,
Illinois.
from Ohio.
Yes, they have them. They're growing. They're all growing. So
Excellent.
there's
That's
a lot
good to
of there's a lot of work to do. That's for sure.
hear. Well, you need more priests, right? Well, that covers about everything that would probably our viewers would like to hear from in an interview from a seminarian. But finally, let's see. Do you have any particularly edifying or interesting advice for people who are young people who are trying to determine what their vocation is? Should I be a priest? Should I be a religious? Anything that they should keep in mind when they're trying to determine those things?
Well, the first thing that I was told, and this was probably the most important, is to just ask for the grace to know what you need to do, especially to pray to Our Lady and Saint Joseph, and that's really what started it for me, I believe. I would say that, and if you have any, if you're drawn to the seminary or to religious life, it might seem obvious, but sometimes it's not, and I'll say it anyway. If you go to your pastor, your confessor, and just let them know, because what happens with this, from my own experience, you get a lot of little doubts, or you think things that you think, oh, I can't do that because of this, and it's really actually small, and it's nothing. It's really not an obstacle, but you think, I can't do that because I'm not smart enough, and you'll let that you'll go in circles with that, and you waste time. If you just go to your priest, he'll know. He has better knowledge of. So, that would be my advice, and
So never
Don't-
never stop praying, and don't hesitate
Seek
to
advice. Seek advice.
seek advice.
It's the easiest way. That's the easy way. Just ask your superior. They know they can direct you to do the will of God better than you can direct yourself. That's certain.
without a doubt.
You can never go wrong, and if you just follow your superior, and that's pretty much it's simple, but it's not always easy.
No, it's
So,
one thing to recognize what you have to do, another thing to do it.
yeah.
So, any other words of wisdom for us,
Well,
or that's is that everything interesting you think you have to tell us today?
I'm about burned out, I think.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Anthony.
You're welcome.
And we will pick up this series again with our next interview on our future priests.